You're listening to the Dude What podcast, where we review bad media and have a laugh while enjoying beer with your host, Harry and Tomo. Enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Dude What Podcast. As always, my name's Harry Dowling, and this time I am joined with my very good friend, it's Mr. Callum Hamby. How the hell you doing, bro?
Yeah, pretty good, man. Yeah, pretty happy to be on. Filling in for T-Lad.
Yeah, man. So you've been on a lot recently, and I feel like we just need to sort of clarify. Tomo's having a bit of personal time off, going through a few things. I think we're going to speak about some things maybe next week's Dude What. So you've been sort of filling in for him, which has been great, man. Helping us out loads.
Yeah, no, I've always said to you, anytime.
Yeah.
Happy to help you guys. So.
I always really enjoy our episodes, man, because our episodes always seem to be like big talking eps. And basically this week we're sort of carrying on from what we did last week, which was the episode of favourites. So this week we're going to do an episode of least favourites. But before we get into any of that stuff, how the hell have you been, bro? I haven't spoken to you like very much this week. What have you been up to?
Yeah, it's been alright. I had a bit of a busy-ish weekend. Had my COVID booster jab on Thursday, and it kind of knocked me out most of last Friday.
Oh yeah.
I think I mentioned it on the stream that we did
on the live stream, yeah, on our Twitch channel,
and it kind of just wiped me out for like the entire day, pretty much. And over the weekend, it was just house chores. We put up our Christmas decorations.
I saw you sent me a really cute picture of your little dog sat very sort of patiently or whatever, very politely next to the Christmas tree.
Oh god, it took him a while to get him to like just sit in one place.
Is that like a little Christmas jumper thing he's wearing?
Yeah, it's quite a fancy one actually. It's called Jules, the brand. We got it ages ago. It's like a designer like jumper. Like
oh no way! I was thinking because I couldn't really see it up close. I was thinking maybe your partner made it because I know she makes a lot of costumes and things for him.
Yeah, she's made a few things for him, but no, this one was we bought it a while ago. So yeah, we did that on Saturday, and then we just we were helping out my girlfriend's family and stuff on Sunday with a few things. Cool. So yeah, it was a pretty busy weekend actually. It was nice though. And then obviously today it's just all of a sudden in the UK it's like absolutely freezing. It's
well, we're in the middle of a storm at the minute, isn't it? Storm Arwen, which is one of my favourite names. Badass.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that.
Yeah, when I got the two kittens, one of them was Eowyn, one of them was going to be Arwen, and Arwen ended up becoming Nala, which is Adam's grizzly bear's cat. Speaking of grizzly bear, you seen that he's just bought his first house?
I did see that. Yeah, I did see that on the.
I need to find out where that actually
Facebook.
is. I don't know. I have not spoken to him in so long.
No. So we hung out probably I want to say March of this year. That was the last time I spoke to him.
I think it was the last time we were all together. Was the last time
and I had a proper big catch up with him then. But yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. Yeah.
About you?
Not a whole lot. I mean, there's a few little things. So, just working loads, as I've said. Cycling a lot. By the way, everyone, if I sound a little rough in this recording, it's because I am. Had a bit of a rough night last night. Pretty sleepless, so I'm pretty out of it today, actually. Not feeling 100%, but I'm still here for you all.
Power through.
Yeah, man, powering through. So just sort of working and that. I think on Friday night we had a few beers, and then I said to Fee, how about Saturday night, I was working Saturday, so Sunday's my next day. How about we have a lot of beers and I don't know, just listen to music all night or something. She was like, yeah, that's really cool. Haven't done that in a long time. So one of my favourite things to do is to have a few drinks, get tipsy, and just listen to music and discover new bands and things. So I said, I'll buy you a couple bottles of wine. I'll go out and get some beers. Some beers turned into quite a lot of beers, and a couple of bottles of wine turned into a few bottles of wine, and basically me and Fee were dancing in the kitchen all night. And yeah, very, very drunk. So Sunday was an extreme hangover day. most of the day spent, for me, I mean, she powered through. She went on a full dog walk and everything in the morning with Zeph, but I spent most of the day in bed. Down and out. I kept sending you pictures of like all these cans and things I was going and buying. You see that one I bought that was like a litre can?
Yeah, I saw the
massive
fucking girthy thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Massive. And yeah, so basically, and then back into work today. Although as I say, I was feeling a bit rough, but I don't think it's anything related to the hangover. I'm usually pretty good with those.
2-day hangovers, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe it is that. Maybe, I mean, we're getting older. I'm going grey, but I don't think it is. I think it's just literally like just very sleepless night last night, and then straight into work, cycling to work. You know, it takes me an hour to get there now, and it snowed in the UK, like, or it snowed where I live pretty heavily the last few days. And it's pretty lethal on a bicycle, by cycling along canals and shit, which is what I do. So slow and steady, and it just took forever.
We didn't get any here. Well,
really?
I know we live about a couple hours away from each other, but yeah, we didn't get any. I live sort of nearer to London, like southeast area. Yeah, nothing.
Oh mate, it was absolutely intense. It was chunking it down. There was like probably about 4 or 5 inches. And every time you went out and you like took a step, it would be filled within 5 minutes. It really was like, but then weirdly it mostly disappeared. By the end of the day it was gone, and then on Sunday night it snowed again. So it was like, which I quite like actually, because I love it. I love seeing the snow fall. I love it when it settles, but I hate it when it hangs about for like a week afterwards, and it's just like slushy brown shit by the side of the road. I hate that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So no, it's been really nice here. I sent you a picture of a little video of it and Zeph outside, and I've got some more actually I was going to send you. He went on as I said, Fee took him on a dog walk, and he was like got tinsel on him, and he was having fun in the snow basically. So, but no, so because I had a pretty heavy night on the beers, I've decided to just give it a rest for a little bit. I've really enjoyed coming home and having a different beer every night, but I drank so much Saturday night, so I'm just giving it a little rest. So I said to you, mate, I haven't got a what we drinking today, and you went, hang on a minute, mate, you've got a beer. So I think we should launch straight into what are we drinking, dude? What are we drinking? What do you got, Hammers? Take the wheel, bro.
I got a crate of them from Costco because they were quite cheap.
A crate of all of these?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was like. Sorry, I'll say what they are first. So it's called a Paulaner Müncher Hell Munich Lager.
Okay.
So it's obviously Paulaner is the town where the brewery is.
Yeah.
Müncher means like it's from Munich.
Yeah.
And then Hell I think means bright in German. Somebody might correct me. I'm doing this on the spot. I think Hell means bright. I know basic German.
Yeah, please do. If any German speakers out there, send us an email, dudewhatpodcast@gmail.com.
So I think it means just like a bright ale, I guess, or bright lager, Yeah, it's very nice. With German beers, I always find them... I like German beers, but they are a little bit boring sometimes, because obviously they're very much just lagers normally. And don't get me wrong, I have had nice ones, and I do love German beer. But no, this is very nice. It's a very nice lager.
So what is it? It's a lager, is it?
Yeah, it's a lager. Yeah. It's just a German lager. It's brewed in accordance with the Bavarian purity laws of 1516.
Cool.
Yeah, as most beers are in Germany.
What's the percentage on it?
It's a 4.9.
Okay, so that's pretty good. I mean, a lot of the ones I was drinking the last few nights were like in the 5 points and the 6 points, and like I'm sort of craving like a 3%, like a session, a session beer.
Yeah.
Anyway, you just took a big swig of that. What's it taste like, bro?
It's nice. It's not very hoppy. It's very, very clean and very, very refreshing. I can imagine drinking this on a nice summer's evening, somewhere in Germany, somewhere in Munich, beer hall somewhere. I can imagine it. It's very, very nice. And I said from Costco, I think it was 12 of these for I want to say like 15 quid. So
that's
it's
pretty
actually
good.
pretty. Yeah. That's why I got it, because I was like, oh, that's a good deal.
I think at this point you're going to get us a Costco like sponsorship. At this point, mate, you're
Oh.
repping the brand every week, dude.
I live literally like 5 minutes away from one. It's good and bad. It's good because, like, you know, we buy like toilet paper and stuff like that for pretty cheap. But
Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad because I'm just like, ooh, I'll just pop in, and then it's like you can't not spend like.
Yeah.
You can't go into Costco and just get one thing. It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
And also, the fresh food is like, as in like they do like on for Sunday we got a rotisserie chicken for dinner, so we just reheated it in the evening. It's, oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah, I've got a friend who keeps telling me, and you actually as well, about the Costco pizzas, about the fresh
Costco
pizzas,
good.
and the desserts like the cakes and things.
Oh
apparently
yeah. If you're having like birthdays, I'm like the Costco advertising.
Yeah, man.
Here.
Costco, man.
Costco. The thing is, you pay for a membership, so you're like, damn, I gotta like get my money's worth.
Gotta use it, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's a really nice beer. You can buy it from. I have seen it in the supermarket actually.
Okay, I can't say I've ever seen that before.
Really? Oh, maybe it's like the Sainsbury's near
Yeah. I can't say I've ever seen that, but it looks good, and it looks like if I had that, I'd probably swig through half of that in one gulp.
Nice.
It looks refreshing.
It is very, very, very refreshing.
Nice. Well, I'm drinking Asda's own orange double concentrate squash from a Thatcher's glass, because that's how
lovely.
I roll.
Lovely.
Yeah. Well done, man. That was a pretty good, pretty good. What we drinking? What are we drinking? So last week, or maybe even the week before, because you've sat in on a few of these now, we mentioned that we were thinking about possibly a Hamby spin-off segment. It's still in the works. We haven't got anything for you today, but we're still sort of mulling it over. Obviously, like Hamby is pretty much part of the crew at this point, like just sort of popping in, coming on the eps whenever he wants, the way we like it. So I still like the ham bone to pick, the idea where you just like did you ever see that Family Guy episode where Peter's like, this is what really grinds my gears?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's a ham bone to pick. It's like what's pissing you off this week? That's my idea for, you know.
I could do it. I wouldn't. I never consider myself that grumpy of a person. So I don't know, but maybe.
Well, okay. Well, we'll sort of workshop it a little bit more, and then maybe next time you're on, we'll run it for propers. As I say,
Yeah.
I think next week, we're both in contact with Mr. Tomo Tomlinson quite a lot, and I think next week we're planning on. He's coming back. We're going to do quite a big episode, I think. So yeah, sending love his way. We'll have him back next week, and he'll be live streaming on our Twitch on Friday. Don't know what yet. I'll have to keep you posted.
It's not going to be Warzone because it's been pushed back a week.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, been pushed back to the 8th if you've got Vanguard.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I saw it.
I wonder why that is.
Don't know, probably just, I don't know, no idea. It could be anything, couldn't it? But
Fine-tuning, yeah.
It's annoying because, like, I was quite looking forward to playing it. But
Yeah, I think we were all going to do that. So I don't know what he's going to play. Maybe he will. I don't know. He'll play something. Hopefully not Vanguard again. He's done that twice already. So yeah, Hammers. Basically, our last episode, we broke the formula of Dude What Podcast. We didn't watch a film. We just sort of spoke at length for like an hour and a half about things that we really, really love. And obviously you can't see like all the analytics and whatnot and how the episodes do, but that episode is doing pretty well. And it did pretty well, like right out the gate, yeah. I think people liked just hearing us talk about shit. I think, because like I said in that episode, we are both really passionate about what we love, and we can talk at length about it. So I said to you, I've got a great idea for a second part to this episode. And as I said at the beginning of this, this is going to be the episode of least favourites. So I think we've had a week to think about it. We've broken it down into like the same categories as last time. Don't really know how it's going to go, because as we both said, like, it's kind of hard to... It's easy to talk about what you love, but it's hard to talk about what you hate. Yeah,
you're not very passionate about it, are you?
Yeah,
yeah. And the thing as I said to Harry right before we started recording, I was like, it's kind of hard to think of something. Oh, sorry, it's easy to think of something that's just bad, but it's actually harder to think of something that's bad that a lot of people like, or at least a lot of people have seen. Because I could pick like a TV show that no one's watched.
Yeah, and I could pick like an absolute dogshit musical, that guarantee nobody's ever seen. So it is a tricky one, but as I say, we've broken it down into the similar categories. I think we're coming up on like 15 minutes of the show, so as long as we talk for at least another 15 minutes or so, it should be good, man. So I don't know if you want to jump straight into the episode of least favorites. Pick a category, dude.
Right.
What are we going to talk about?
Okay. What about TV shows?
Okay, TV shows. Yeah.
I feel like this is something we're probably going to agree on. I think we might have spoken about it before.
Yeah.
My least favorite TV show, and I think I've upset people, including my girlfriend,
okay.
with this opinion.
Yeah.
I absolutely cannot stand Friends. I think it sucks.
Yes.
And I know, like, this is one of the thing where you probably did really well in the favourites episode. Everyone was like, hell yeah, love that. I bet you're gonna have people going like, what the fuck? I love Friends. It's the best show ever. Because people are like either or. They either love it or they absolutely hate it. And we just never watched it in my family. We never did growing up. And like when I went to uni and met my girlfriend and stuff, and everybody loved it. I started watching it when I was like in my late teens, early 20s, and I was like, "What the fuck? This sucks!" Like, it absolutely sucks.
I 100%, and not just saying this to agree so we can talk on it. I 100% agree with you. Like, I have always hated Friends, and one thing that pisses me off loads is the amount of like Friends merch that's still on like general supermarket shelves. Like, I don't want to buy a pair of socks that has like Central Perk written on it or some shit. What even is that?
Yeah. It's
as I said when we spoke about this a little bit beforehand, I've sort of been quite general with my answers because I struggle a lot. But one thing I did write down, I think this sort of encompasses that, is I wrote down crappy sitcoms.
Yeah.
And I think Friends is one of the ultimate crappy sitcoms.
It's I get it. A lot of shows of its time had laugh tracks, and I don't necessarily think the laugh track makes it bad, because there's plenty of like good comedies that have laugh tracks.
Only
Two
and
Fools
a Half Men.
All like the old British like Only Fools and Horses and stuff have laugh tracks.
Okay, yeah, of course,
and it's a fantastic comedy. There's like
definitely.
It's not, everybody always rips into the laugh track, and it's not that.
I think it's because there's so many memes where people have like removed the laugh track, and then you can just see like the silences after the jokes in air quotes.
And so I put a slash because there's another show that is really, really close, and I have a feeling you're going to agree with me as well. I cannot stand Big Bang Theory. That's another one that is absolutely trash. For similar reasons.
I do agree with you. However, I've watched a lot of Big Bang Theory just because what my all-time favorite American like laugh track sitcom is Two and a Half Men, and will always be up until season 9 when Charlie Sheen left. But that show is written by a guy called Chuck Lorre, or Chuck Law, but I think it's Lorre. And he is sort of like one of the like kings of like American sitcom. It seems to be whenever he's got an idea, he writes it and it's a hit. And he's done a few of these shows, and Big Bang Theory is one of his. So when it, probably not when it came out, because it's probably been around for a whole lot longer than you might think. But I definitely watched it, and I did get into it, but I didn't love it.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't watch it now. I definitely would not watch it now.
Yeah, it's for different reasons to Friends. Going back to Friends, I don't know. I just think the amount of time I've been with somebody, and they've like, and we've been having a conversation, and they just reference like a Friends joke or something.
Yeah,
and it's just assumed that everybody has watched Friends.
Yeah,
or has watched a lot of it. And I was like, I don't. It's over my head. For starters, I've watched like maybe, I don't know. I want to say maybe like 5 episodes in my entire life.
I've probably watched less than that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know, to be honest.
It's weird because I like the cast. I like the cast members. They've done a lot of good. I mean, David Schwimmer was in what I watched recently, Band of Brothers. You know, it's like he is not a David Schwimmer character in that. Jennifer Aniston, great comedy, whatever, like just in all sorts of stuff. Even Matt LeBlanc, the guy who played Joey, like he's done some cool stuff. He also did that god awful spin off called Joey, which was like just why. Even well, I don't want to just name all the cast members, but like I think it was like a time and place kind of TV show.
Yeah.
And the people who are watching it now are the people who watched it back then, because they're in this like cycle of Friends and they just watch Friends forever.
Yeah, but it's like so like my girlfriend's family. It's like her mum, her nan, all of her sisters. They all watched it and they all reference it all the time. And it's like
I guess I'm sort of lucky in that respect, because I think Fee never liked it.
Yeah,
and if anything, it's like I think if you watch it today, it's almost just like cringe.
Yeah, but not funny cringe either, because I like funny cringe. It's not funny cringe. Yeah.
No. It's just like cringy cringe. Yeah, no, so I wrote down, like crappy American sitcoms.
Yeah.
The only one, in my opinion, which is any good, which probably is considered crappy by some, but I watched it as a kid, and I sort of, watched it as it came out, was 2.5 Men, just because, like, don't know, just, it's the one that hooked me in. I think Charlie Sheen just plays Charlie Sheen in that. Like, drugs and hookers and all sorts,
What do you think of Frasier?
Actually, I really like Frasier.
Yeah, I of those kind of like time sitcoms, like it's probably one of the better ones, I'd say.
It definitely is. It's so 90s though now.
Yeah.
It's so 90s. Like I do actually watch quite a bit of that. My grandma got me into that. I love Kelsey Grammer, David Hyde Pierce, the guy who's his brother in that.
Yeah.
And, I've always got the theme song in my head. Oh, baby, I hear the blues are calling, toss salads and scrambled eggs. That's just always in my head, man.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, like, it's incredibly dated to watch it.
Yeah.
And I think if you were like, hey, like, to someone, like, do you want to watch a Frasier? And they're like, I've never heard of it, but yeah, sure. They'd be like, what the fuck are you watching?
Yeah, what the hell is this?
It's about, like, wealthy, like, I don't know, upper class people in New York. Like,
yeah, Seattle.
Yeah. Oh, it's Seattle. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's the logo, isn't it? Yeah, Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing I wrote down, which is going to get so much hate, and I've said it countless times in on the podcast, and I know that I'm in the minority, but I just can't stand anything that is anime.
Ooh.
Anything that is anime. I know people.
Anything.
I used to like Dragon Ball when I was a kid.
I was going to say Dragon Ball.
Yeah, no, so we're talking we're talking anime TV shows. I like the Studio Ghibli films, the classic like Japanese Totoro and all that stuff. I think that's very cool. But I'm talking like anime TV shows like Naruto, Boruto, and like, Attack on Titan and all this stuff. I feel like I'm going to get hate for saying it, but like it's almost like it's for kids, and I feel like I'm too old to watch that.
Yeah, it's not something I've watched recently. I guess when I was like younger, I watched, like most people, I watched like Dragon Ball, like Pokemon, stuff like that. I watched the Pokemon movie, which I thought was good, with Mew and Mewtwo. I watched Dragon Ball as a kid because I had a friend from Hong Kong who I was very close with, and he obviously was like, big into the Dragon Ball. So I got into that. But I just, it like cringes me out when I see like grown, like adults, like, worshipping anime. Yeah.
And doing the stupid run, with their hands behind their backs and stuff.
I got a funny story about that. Me and my girlfriend, we went out. So it's when we used to live where we used to live, down in Kent, and we and. My girlfriend's grandparents came for like a weekend or like a day maybe.
Yeah.
And they met up with us to go out for dinner. So we went to this lovely Italian, and we were just leaving, and where it is we were walking up the hill, and there was like, I remember because there was a Papa John's on the corner, and there was this kid, like it was like probably like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and there was this, I want to say kid, he's probably like a teenager, like unironically like Naruto running like down the street like to
What?
Papa John's. It wasn't like he was with his friends or anything. It was just like
Just on his
just
own?
that was just how he. I think maybe he thought that nobody was like looking, so he was like, "I'm just gonna do it
Yeah.
now." Like I'm just gonna.
Oh,
But it was just the weirdest thing. It was just this guy like Naruto running. Like he did
Yeah.
it for like 20, 30 like meters, down the road.
Oh god, I'm really going for it then.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah.
Yeah, like I totally understand young people watching it because as a young man, I really enjoyed cartoons, and I'm not saying it that it's cartoons, but I really enjoyed like colourful animation and things. But as I'm growing up, it doesn't not even like I used to be able to watch SpongeBob up to a couple of years ago and really enjoy it still. I'm past it now.
Back off, SpongeBob. Still one of my favourite shows.
No, hey man, SpongeBob's fantastic. Probably the best cartoon,
Yeah.
best kids cartoon of all time.
In my opinion, it is. Yeah, absolutely.
But I can't watch it anymore. I can see the memes and the jokes and I can't sit down and watch a whole episode of SpongeBob anymore.
They're only 11 minutes long, though. To be fair.
Really, I remember them being like a lot longer.
Well,
than that.
it was on for like half an hour with an ad break, but each episode was only 11 minutes. So there's two episodes, to like a showing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not shitting on SpongeBob. SpongeBob's the best, but I even loved Tom Kenny, the voice and all the other stuff he does fascinates me. Voice artists and voice actors really fascinate me, but I think I'm just trying to say that I feel like I'm too old to watch a cartoon now, and I'm gonna get hate for saying it, but I'm sort of anime. It's not my jam. I just don't like it. And, I know I generalize the whole anime, but I am yet to find one that I like. And I would say, you know what? If there's an anime that you think I would really like, send me an email. But I know that I'm just going to get flooded with emails that are saying watch this, watch that, and it's going to be shit that I'm not interested in. So I'm good. I'm good with not liking anime. So I'm cool with that.
You're gonna get cancelled.
We're gonna get cancelled, yeah, man. So let's quickly move on to another topic so that that gets forgotten about. Oh, actually, no. Before we do, I also wrote down. So this is kind of a weird one. I wrote down like horrible shit because, for example, Fee likes a lot of these shows where it shows like basically a lot of really graphic violence towards women and stuff like this. And one of the shows that she likes is The Handmaid's Tale. I don't know if you've ever watched it.
You know what? I've had it recommended to me from a lot of people, and to be fair, I do want to watch it at some point because it does sound like what I would enjoy, like the setting of it, and
all of that stuff, the future of it, like because we've got the book, and it's interesting that, but in the show, it's like obviously abuse and violence and things are important things that need to be brought up so that they're not like forgotten and stuff, but like when you're watching a show for entertainment and you're basically just watching a woman get like beaten and like all this horrible shit happen to her, like to me it's just not entertainment, and I'm like, why would I want to watch like just horrible shit that
but isn't that the whole point of the show, isn't it? Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
and I know it's just shit, the sort of shit I don't like. Not saying just The Handmaid's Tale, because there's loads of other like just even shows that are just excessive gore. I guess I'm saying like shows that focus on one thing and that's their whole, I mean, like I don't know. I mean, try it by all means. I think even Fee says that it's not as good as the book or the books or whatever.
Yeah, I need to either watch the show or read the book because I think we mentioned last week about I a few years ago I got really into like all the dystopian novels and stuff. So I do really find I'd love like 1984 and all that sort of stuff. So
well, there's a lot.
I should read it.
I've seen a lot of the episodes, like not watching, but it been on in the room while I'm in there and stuff. And there are some genuinely cool bits. There's some like badass like main character twists it on the rest of the characters, and you're like, yeah. But then there's also a lot of just like, women getting absolutely beaten, and it's just it's hard to watch. Man, you want to pick another category?
Oh, Okay, yeah. Go for movies, shall we?
All right.
I've done something similar to you in a way.
Yeah, I've done it the same in this one, man. I don't think I could pick one specific film.
As more of a category.
Yeah.
So I cannot stand. I'm yet to watch a good disaster movie.
Okay. Yeah. Disaster film. Right.
I don't know what it is, but obviously, I'd say one of the most famous ones is Day After Tomorrow.
Day After Tomorrow.
Or 2012. They're all just garbage movies.
They are. I agree with you. However, I agree with you, but I do actually really enjoy watching them because they're just great big CGI shitfests.
Yeah.
And if you want to see the world just get pummeled by a meteor or something, hey, go for it.
Yeah, and I don't know if you... is it... Was that... I watched it, I think, on TV. There was a movie with Dwayne Johnson in it from a few years ago.
Oh, San Andreas.
And it was crap, and it was similar to that, yeah. I think I watched it on TV, it was probably at Christmas.
I saw one... There's one on Amazon Prime at the minute called... it's called Geostorm, and it's Gerard Butler. And, me and Fia... We're Butler fans, and I'm like, all right, let's put this on. It's going to be crap, but let's put it on. And about 5 minutes in, I had to stop it because I was like, I swear I've seen this before, but I hadn't. It's just it's like every other. Yeah, they're all exactly the same. One guy gets a warning from the government, like this is about to happen, and then it's him trying to stop it, but he doesn't really. He has to go and hide somewhere or something. Like that's the. But I mean, enjoyable, but crap. Yeah, crap.
Yeah, who's the main guy in Day After Tomorrow? It's been years since I watched it.
No, see, I actually quite like Day After Tomorrow because you've got Jake Gyllenhaal and Dennis Quaid, and I do like a bit of Quaid.
Yeah.
He's the dad character.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of these kind of movies just because I would say they were more popular maybe 10 years ago or so. And then I think they've kind of died down now because people have realised that they're just kind of shit.
Definitely.
But
I mean, you say 2012, right? 2012 is definitely a bad film, but it's got some great visual effects in it.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, because they're all just huge budget Hollywood movies. But
yeah, volcano. Woody Harrelson screaming as volcanoes are going off and stuff.
Yeah. It's you remember more about these movies than I do. I literally
I just because I watched Not too long ago, I watched a proper deep dive into the VFX in 2012, and it's got some impressive effects. But yeah, it is a bad film. It's John Cusack driving over massive chunks in the ground and stuff. We're gonna make it. What about Dante's Peak? Because that's a disaster movie.
I don't think I've seen that.
That's pretty good, man. That's Pierce Brosnan and his family trying to outrun a volcano. That's quite a good film from the 90s.
Yeah, I'll have a look at that.
It's not a world-ending disaster movie, but it's a certain location disaster. That's worth a watch. Also, on a similar note, there was a film where oh no, I think I'm getting this confused. I was going to say there was a film where there's a tsunami and Owen Wilson's got to outrun it, but I think I've got two films mixed up there.
I watched. I think the one that was based on a real life thing was the one with Ewan McGregor, The Impossible.
Yes, The Impossible.
But that's actually okay, to be fair.
Yeah, that was.
But that's based on the Boxing Day tsunami, isn't it? From
2004 was it?
Yeah, I can't remember what year it was. Yeah, in Asia. But yeah, I don't know if you count real disasters in disaster movies.
No. So when you said disaster movies, I'm thinking pretty bad category. There's not a lot of, if any, good films in there. I did the same thing. I chose it like a genre, and I hate Christmas films. We're coming up to Christmas time. They're all on the TV. Sky is sending me emails every other day telling me about this new film called A Boy Called Christmas, which looks like absolute balls. I just hate Christmas films. They're all so happy. No, man. I mean, that's why, to be fair, there are certain Christmas films I like, and they're the Christmas horrors, because Christmas horrors kind of spin it, like the Krampus 2. There's there's a pretty good horror Christmas musical called Anna and the Apocalypse that we watched last year that was pretty good. But generally, they're all just massive cheese fests, and like, who watches them apart from Fiona? She loves them.
Oh yeah, my girlfriend loves them as well. I think Fee and my girlfriend have been talking quite a bit about them.
They have, yeah.
Because like, my girlfriend will literally just look on Netflix, because Netflix release a lot of shit Christmas movies, like their own Christmas movies, like with they all seem to have Vanessa Hudgens in them.
Yeah.
Like she's in that one where it's Princess Switch, but she's also in. I've also watched 2 or 3 other ones with her in.
Yeah.
Like one was called like A Night Before Christmas with a K. Like,
oh god.
And just like there's just so many of them, and they're all like. The thing that annoys me, right, is that like the ones that like, they've released a few new ones on Netflix, and my girlfriend sort of showed me the trailer for them, and we kind of laugh at them because they are just awful, but they're all just the same storyline. It's like normally it's like this city girl who's like got a good job, like goes out to like a little town or like to England or whatever, and like and you know, meets this guy at Christmas, and like. She then has this dilemma as to whether or not to, like, you know, pack her life in, and it's all exactly the same.
Sometimes she'll choose the poor boy, and then turns out he's like a prince or some shit. Or he's or he's very wealthy actually, and she's made this like fantastic decision. And
I got to say that there's some Christmas movies that I tolerate. Like I don't, although
Die Hard.
Yeah, Die Hard's obviously.
It's a whole big debate, isn't it? It's a whole big debate.
I like it.
It's an action film. It's an action film set at Christmas, but is it a Christmas film?
Yeah, I watch it at Christmas, and it's a good movie. So yeah, like me and my girlfriend both quite like Elf, and it's kind of like a guilty pleasure kind of movie because it is cringy as hell. Don't get me wrong, it's cringy as hell. But it is funny. It's like
I feel like I was way too late to the Elf train. I watched it for the first time ever last year, and was sort of like, at this point, you know, I've had like 20-something, or no, not 20-something, 15 years or however long it's been out of people going like, "Oh my god, it's amazing!" And I watched it, and I'm like, yeah. I mean,
as a comedy goes, but like it's better than a lot of the stuff. It's better than, I would say, 90% of Christmas movies.
I tell you what about Bad Santa 1?
Yeah.
Bad Santa 1's pretty good. I haven't even bothered watching the second one.
No, I haven't.
Bad
I've
Santa
seen the
1's
first
pretty
one.
good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Billy Bob Thornton, hell yeah.
I'm just trying to think now, like, of good. There's not many good Christmas movies.
No, there aren't.
Really?
They're all crap. Like what they've started doing now is they'll take like a Christmas song, and they'll just make a film based on that song. I mean, Fee was telling your girlfriend about one called Last Christmas.
Oh,
it's on Netflix now. It is literally like the Wham. I'm pretty sure it's Wham. The Wham song, Last Christmas. I gave you my heart. That's the plot of the film. A literal heart transplant at Christmas. Like,
make 3.5 minutes last like 2 hours.
Yeah. And of course, Fee was like, "Oh, this is so good," you know. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Christmas films.
I think I agree with you for the most part. There's some there's some like disaster movies. There's some exceptions.
Yeah. It's like, I know I mentioned it. Have you seen Krampus?
I haven't. No, I've heard it's pretty good though.
Yeah, it's good. It genuinely is, because it's basically like a horror comedy at Christmas time, but it's got like the guy who was the brother in Step Brothers, but not Will Ferrell or John C. Reilly. Will Ferrell's like other brother, the sort of the dick. He's in it. Yeah, the one who gets punched and falls out the thing.
The Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah, the Catalina wine mixer. It's good, and there's a sequel to it, and there's another one that we watch sort of every other year called Rare Exports. It's like a Swedish film, Norwegian film or something. That's also it's like a horror Christmas film, but it's got like a really like sweet message at the end, which makes it all sort of worthwhile. Which it's good. There's a lot of full frontal nudity in that one, so don't watch it with your parents.
Okay.
If anyone knows of any Christmas films that are actually good, drop us an email, dudewhatpodcast@gmail.com. Send us a voice message, speakpipe.com/dudewhatpodcast, or just message us or comment on the post or whatever on Instagram @dudewhatpodcast.
I got a bit of a tangent.
Okay.
What about Christmas TV specials?
No, I think I'm here for the TV special, because
You don't mind them.
No, I like them. Yeah, I think that often it's a really popular TV show that hasn't been on air for sometimes 10 years, and I like it when people get brought back together, and I think one of the biggest ones in memory is the Gavin and Stacy Christmas special from 2 years ago.
Yeah, the one that I always like, and I can't remember how many specials they did, but it was after the show had ended, was the Royal Family specials, where they did they basically did 3 Christmas specials, and that was all they did.
Yeah.
But and I thought they were great. Yeah.
I thought it was good. I mean, I never been that big on the Royal Family, but it's definitely everyone sit around and watch a bit of Christmas telly kind of thing.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I think
I really liked the Gavin and Stacy one, but I do wish that they didn't just leave it on another massive cliffhanger and just sort of wrap it up, because we know that I don't want them to do another one. I want to just wrap the story up. Here we go.
Yeah.
Did you hear though that they are? I think maybe even at the moment they're currently filming a Hogwarts reunion.
Oh really?
And I think that's, if I'm right, I think that's next Christmas or something. That's going to be
next
available.
Christmas, not this one.
Or maybe even early January or something. But this time of year they do that sort of thing, and I think the cast of Hogwarts is Harry Potter, is coming back to do a bit of a reunion episode or something.
Yeah. Anyway, man, sorry. That was a tangent.
No. Christmas TV. Yeah, Christmas TV is good. Christmas movies, not so good.
Okay.
What about... So, apart from video games, which I think we'll save till last, it's just very general on my part. One of the hardest ones, and the one that we both said that we would struggle to do, is books. So let's get that out the way. I'll go first, this might be it's basically just more a funny observation more than anything else. But I like books. I buy a lot of books. Some of the sort of books I love are the random fact books or the mystery conspiracy books. I think those are really cool, fiction. Non-fiction rather. I like a lot of stories, a lot of things like that. But I like the occasional autobiography. Especially, favourite ones are probably Anthony Kiedis from the Chili Peppers. His one's pretty badass. There's loads of others. But one thing I cannot stand is when a celebrity, writes an autobiography, releases it, and then a few years later writes another autobiography.
Yeah.
It's what, did you leave some stuff out from the first one and you were just I'm going to do a second one? Did the first one stop a cliffhanger and you set yourself up for a second one, or did you just run out of money and were I'm just going to write another book? It just annoys me, because I'm no, Paul O'Grady, how many books do you need to write, mate?
Yeah, the thing that I don't understand with that as well is when you get when you've got, it'll be a celebrity who's in their late 20s or something, and they'll obviously have a ghostwriter, and they'll do an autobiography. But you think you're not even that old. You surely haven't done enough to I don't think there's enough happening in my life to write a book.
A few chapters.
that's interesting enough.
Book,
I don't know. I sort of think how have you got enough to write about?
Fair
enough. If you're in your 60s or 70s and you've had a whole career, you're okay. Fair enough,
your memoirs. You publish a big book. But I've seen people do that. Celebrities or whatnot that are now in their 50s or so will release an autobiography, and to be fair, it's usually ex-cast members from EastEnders or some shit. They'll release an autobiography and then they'll release another one, but it's not another just random story. No, it's another autobiography, and it's just sort of hang on a minute, I don't know. It's just such a blatant oh, actually, give me some money. I thought of some more stuff. No, mate, you had a chance to write your thing. Your fans have bought the book. You're going to make them buy another one now, like.
Well, they all come out at this time of year, so that people go, "Oh, better get Nan something for Christmas."
Yeah. And it's often like really random people, and you're like, "What the hell? What are you writing an autobiography for?" You know. But no, so yeah, books was hard because like if I'm not enjoying a book, I won't read it. So then how can it be on my list of like least favourite books, you know?
Yeah.
If I read it, I liked it. So
that was tough for me. So mine is, and I know you're not going to like this, and let me just get this straight. I do like this book, but I did not finish it. So it's Lord of the Rings. I don't get me wrong.
Okay, everyone, that's an end of this podcast. Hamby's on his way out.
The movies are obviously phenomenal. The book is obviously, it's obviously very, very good because, it's had so much stuff made from it. It's so popular.
Yeah.
But I think I tried to read it when I was like, I don't know, 15, 16.
Okay.
And I've read The Hobbit. I don't know what it is about Lord of the Rings, but it's so fucking hard to read. And I think I probably read maybe like not even a quarter of it, and I think I got so bogged down with everything, and I think it's because like the way that it's written is obviously in a lot of detail, and it's like so and so goes to so and so, and it's like, oh my god, like, and obviously
so many names,
and they're all like the Elvish and Dwarvish names and things and place names, and you're like, oh my god. And I think when I read it first, maybe I should give it another go, but like.
Yeah, maybe.
I do like reading. I've sort of gone away from fiction a fair bit as I've got older. But yeah, I remember when I was like 15, 16 trying to read it, and I really struggled. And
so I'll be honest with you and the fans. Obviously, I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. I've got the book, but I've got the one that's like all of the issues in one mega book. I have never physically read The Lord of the Rings. I've listened to it twice, but it's audiobooks.
Maybe I should do that then.
Because I feel like if I was physically reading it, it's such a big book. I don't have time in the first place. That's why I listen to a lot of audiobooks. But I feel like you can sort of get fatigued with it because there's big sections where it's just like runes, dwarvish runes, and it's like, what the fuck? And also, there's big chunks of it that are written as song. And sometimes if you're sort of like, well, it doesn't really make sense. But if you listen to an audiobook, the author will sort of like just make up a tune that the song is supposed to be sung to. And they just take a lot of the hard work out of reading that book. So yeah, maybe I would recommend listening to Lord of the Rings on an audiobook rather than trying to physically read it.
So I read The Hobbit before I read Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Or tried to read Lord of the Rings. And I don't know, I probably read The Hobbit when I was like maybe 13, 14.
I think though that's because The Hobbit's a children's book.
Yeah, and I remember it being like, oh yeah, it's not hard to read.
I read it when I was like a small child.
Yeah, it's not hard to read at all. It's maybe I'm just not intellectually on that level to read Lord of the Rings. Maybe I am now. Maybe I am now.
It's tricky. Weirdly, right? So I was talking to Fee last night actually about difficult books to read. So I don't know if you've seen or if the people listening have seen, but there's a new show on Sky Max, the channel's called, and it's Dan Brown's The Lost Symbol. Rather than do another Tom Hanks movie based on the Robert Langdon character like, Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, Inferno, they've done a TV show on it instead. And we were like, yeah, let's give it a try, Anyway, it's pretty good. We're like 4 episodes in, 10 episodes. Really interested in it. It's like a classic search for the clues, find the treasure type story. But I was saying that I've got probably all of the Robert Langdon, Dan Brown books. I keep pointing over there. My bookcase is right there with all my books on it. So I've got all of them. And I've got them like in the big hardbacks copies. I tried to read, Da Vinci Code back in 2005 or something. And I find that book and the way Dan Brown writes is just so hard to just stick with it. I can't do it. I've tried so many times. I even bought all the rest of them from charity shops, and in an attempt to like read through them all, but it's tricky. He writes so weirdly that I'm just not into it, but I love the stories. So I think Tolkien does, as you say, like quite a lot of the time you'll see a word and you're like, what the hell's that? And you literally have to flick to the appendices, which is a book in itself, at the back of the book, to be like, oh, okay, that's the place where so and so lived or something.
Yeah,
and it's
completely.
Shit, you know.
But I do like. Let me just get the record straight. I do like Lord of the Rings. Like, you know, everything Lord of the Rings I generally like.
yeah. It's just there's nothing else like it in terms of fantasy lore in my opinion that even comes close. But I understand that. It's especially if you've got the massive book like mine. It's huge. And it's
I think it was that. Yeah, it was that one I tried to read. Yeah.
But give it another shot, man. Give it another shot. So I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about books. To be honest, man.
That was a hard one. Books.
It was definitely a hard one.
I'll say I had to be a bit brutal with it. So, and to be fair, if we're doing albums next,
okay, go for it.
That's another tough one.
Music and albums. I mean, so like
reasons.
I said, mine's a massive generalization again for this one.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I went for a specific album, but I guess you could kind of
wow. Go on, and I'm super intrigued to hear what this
you could kind of look at it as like a type of album. So
okay.
So the album that I had in mind was California by Blink-182.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's garbage. It's trash.
Okay.
But it's not just that. It's all these. It's basically the whole thing of bands that should have either packed it in a long, long time ago.
I know what you mean.
And you know, Blink-182, fair enough. You know, like they you know, I like Blink-182. I like all their old school stuff. But like I was not hyped for that album when it came out, but I was like, I'll give it a listen because you know, I like. And it was the new guy
Matt Skiba.
Skiba, so I thought I'd give it a go. And I just couldn't get into it. It didn't.
So I'm going to be honest with you. Hamby. Yeah, like that. It's not great. It's not a great album. But did you listen to 9, the album that came out after that?
No, I did. I don't think I did. No.
It's actually very good. In
Is
my
it?
opinion.
Okay.
Like,
it picks up a little bit.
Like I really enjoyed it because, and then I'm all about that like no Tom DeLonge like voice that's just not there. But it's almost like they found a new sound now. And the other guy is pretty good. And like the album 9 made me like California more. But when that California came out, I probably didn't listen to it for 2 years or so. Because I was like, no, like you say, Blink should have ended it there.
Yeah. So, like, and I know that's kind of like hypocritical because, like, you know, one of our favourite bands is the Chili Peppers. And whenever you speak to any, like, a lot of people don't like the Chili Peppers. They go like, oh, they should have packed it in like 20 years ago. You know,
it's like a revolving door of guitar players.
Yeah,
new members,
which you
keeps it fresh, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah, but you know, like there's lots of those kind of bands that you just like. You've got a very loyal fan base, and it's just like they're basically just making money off that very fan base. Yeah.
On the same note as that, what do you think to Queen plus Adam Lambert, as they're known now?
Oh, what do I think of them? Or
well, I mean, like that's a similar thing in my opinion.
Yeah,
like, you've got one of the greatest rock bands of all time, one of the most influential bands, and now they have a new lead singer.
Yeah, it's weird.
But they're not. But so they're called Queen plus Adam Lambert, and I think his name's someone Deacon, the bass player, is the only one who's not back because he's like without Freddie there is no Queen.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like
it's weird, isn't it?
What are you doing?
But it's different with Queen, isn't it? Because it's like as good as the members of Queen are, like when everyone thinks of Queen, they think of Freddie Mercury, don't they?
Yeah.
Like primarily, obviously, but you know, so it's kind of weird, isn't it? But yeah.
But it's like you could do like. I get that people want to hear the music again, and you could do it. You could have like a live show where maybe you have like 4 or 5 guest singers who come on and do like a song with them. I know they've done that before. They had like George Michael come on do a song with them when he was still alive. They had someone else and someone else. But there's a documentary about it. I think it's on Netflix, and it's all about how because I think Adam Lambert was on like American Idol or something like that, and Brian May basically saw him and was like, "That is an incredibly like charismatic young man with great stage presence. I think we could, if we can do it, we can do it with him." And I sort of feel like, I don't know. I'm happy that they're still playing, the surviving members, except for Deacon. But form a new band or something.
Yeah, you think you'd just be like, let's just leave it at that. Like, obviously, you had all the amazing stuff from 80s and 70s and stuff. Just leave it. Yeah. How about you?
That's a good one. So mine is a massive generalization, and it's not necessarily that I think it's bad. It's just that I don't really understand it, and that is like modern pop music.
That's a massive generalization.
Yeah, I know, but like not so much modern. It was tricky. I was going to say like radio music then, but it sort of is. I guess like modern indie music or indie like pop or whatever that's doing things that musically everyone's been doing for so long, but because they're new, everyone thinks that they are the ones who sort of invented it, if you know what I mean. I had this conversation with 730 the other week, and we spoke about punk rock, and it was like, yeah, punk rock, like Sum 41, Blink 182, like, and he's like, who? no, he's like, no, I'm talking about Machine Gun Kelly, and and I'm sort of like,
yeah. But things change, man. Like new people come along, and
As I say, like I'm getting older, because not all of it I dislike. I even said on the interview I did with 730 the other day, there's an artist called Kenny Hoopla who's like one of these young guys. They always seem to play with Travis Barker for some reason, but he's like one of these young musician guys, and I think he's great. He's got like a unique style, but it's a lot of the guys who are doing shit that's just been done, and they're not really doing anything new. And I think that is what I mean when I say like modern pop. I mean, like, I've never been big on sort of like Radio 1 pop music anyway. Most pop has got to be like unique for me to like it. Like, even if that's considered bad, like Lil Sis Nora, where it's just like weird noises and shit, like,
I don't know. I kind of think with like pop music, like, what do you want it to be? You want it to be in the background, and you want it to be catchy. Like,
okay,
nobody listens to pop music, or as in like just Radio 1, going like, oh, this is like, this is a masterpiece. It's just, it's just,
I don't know, man. I think people do. I think the young people do.
Don't be wrong, right? I do. I occasionally will hear a pop song that I'm like, I really like that. I really, really like that. Or
like a Red Hot Chili Pepper.
Yeah, not that, but no, like, there are some like current artists that I do like, but just for the most part, I probably agree with you for the most part. But then,
like I said, I don't think it's because I'm not saying it is bad. I'm saying I feel like because I'm getting older, I'm losing touch with that.
But I think
modernness.
I think like everybody has said that before you, though. Like people in the 90s are probably saying exactly the same thing. People they're all just like, things change, man. It's just, people...
It's weird because it's one of the things that really makes you feel old. Like, we're not old, but it's one of the things that makes you feel old is when you see like old things come back to being new. And like I said, the young people of today like don't remember when it was around the first time, and time is a flat circle or whatever they say. Like, things will always come around again, and even the stuff that we're saying is original wasn't, because it's taken from something that came before it and something that came before that. But like, it's just it broke my heart a little bit when I heard that Machine Gun Kelly came up with punk rock.
No, it wasn't Blink who came up with
no, but like
either. But...
Yeah. It's I'm not even that big into punk rock. It's just,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It just pains me a little bit.
There are, what I would say is like I listen to the radio a fair bit at work and stuff, and there are occasionally some good songs that I like, occasionally.
So we were talking about the Absolute radio thing last week. I've now switched it, so at work now we're not listening to absolute classic rock because I can't hear Enter Sandman anymore.
Oh god, yeah.
So we've switched it to absolute 80s and loving it, dude. Because it's basically absolute classic rock without Enter Sandman, but with all the 80s pop as well. And it's great. I love 80s pop because people say that's crap, you know, like flat vocals, that sort of like Duran Duran style. I love that crap, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, switch it over from absolute to absolute 80s.
I'll give it a go. Yeah, there's only
just don't tell anyone. Just switch it over because I bet you, right, people will start singing along to the songs and they'll be like, hell yeah. And when you're like, this is 80s music, they'll be like, yeah, you know.
Yeah, no, it's I'll give that a go. Yeah, there's only so many times I can listen to what's the song by Audio Slave that's always playing? They play like
Black Hole Sun.
Yeah, they play Black Hole Sun a lot. Don't know what it is.
They do.
They play a lot. I know. I keep this is like me on my soapbox about like Absolute Radio.
Yeah.
It's just the thing that pisses me off is that 'cause I listen to it every day. It's like it's. With Oasis, it's like, it's Wonderwall Day. It's it's just like.
And I think we went into it on the last episode.
Yeah.
And I totally know what you mean.
It's just like...
for me when we did that last episode, it was Black Hole Sun. But like for the last week, it's just been Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
Like pretty much constantly. And like, I'm not a big Metallica fan, but I do like a few tracks.
Yeah.
And Enter Sandman is one of the ones I like. Actually, I don't know if you've seen, and seeing as we're on music, I may as well ask you now. I put Nothing Else Matters in your playlist, but it's got like Elton John, Miley Cyrus, Chad Smith, and like Yo-Yo Ma and all these cool people. I put a few tracks in your playlist. What did you think to those?
Yeah, that was cool. I did listen to that one. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. Miley Cyrus is like got some range in that.
Yeah, of course.
In that song.
Yeah, it was. You put some tracks in there, and I had a long weekend. I didn't really get a chance to listen to them all in good time. I listened to them on last night. No, it's a good track.
Cool. What did you think of that? Some of the Volbeat ones.
Which one?
That's that sort of new band that I discovered.
Which one? I can't remember how that went.
All right, well, just like. If you get a chance, listen to that one called Lola Montez and just let me know what you think of that, because that's my favourite song at the minute. It's my favourite song at the minute. It's just so good.
I'll give it a listen.
Sound. But yeah, no, it's been Enter Sandman on Absolute. It just constantly, and like, it's a bit of a weird one because it almost sounds like it's maybe a bit too heavy to be played in like a workplace when you've got customers coming in. So it's like, I don't know why they play it and then they just keep playing it. So I had to switch it over, and now we're listening to like Waterboy's The Whole of the Moon and like Michael Jackson, and it's great. loving it.
Yeah.
Mate, let's jump over to the last category of the night. It's video games. Before we do, man, do you mind? We're on a FaceTime call. Do you mind just moving that bottle, dude? I fully cannot.
Sorry, it's in the way of my head. Sorry.
It's just a bottle on the thing.
Didn't realise. Sorry. Yeah.
That's all good. Video games. Do you want to start us off?
Okay. So, I'm going to try and do it a similar way. So, I've got two things. The first thing is free-to-play games. So, or more specifically, well, free-to-play games in general, but more specifically, mobile games. I have never ever been able to get into like playing games on my phone, partly because they're always free, obviously, and I always feel like they're aimed at either really young kids or really old people, and there's no like in between. Like I don't really know that many people our age who still play like Angry Birds. Or,
I'll be honest, I do occasionally. I don't play Candy Crush, but the only sort of games I don't play games on my phone. The only sort of games I ever play on my phone are those like Connect 3 swiper games, because I can go on swipe, and then put it down. But I know that like Tomo plays a lot of COD Mobile.
Yeah, you see, like, so this is like a sort of two-parter, this one. So the first bit was like mobile games, for obvious reasons. I just think like any game that is free, like, I don't know, nothing in life is free, and if you want to like have fun with the game, like, you got to spend money. It's the same with like same with like anything. So on the same topic as free games, like, I cannot stand these free games, maybe not at the moment because I guess it's not as big now, but like Fortnite and like
not as big now,
like not as big as it was a couple of years ago.
It's still taking over the world, dude.
No, it's not as big as it was a couple of years ago. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I'll drink to that.
Anyway, but like the things like Fortnite, what else was there? There was like
PUBG, all that stuff.
Apex Legends. You just think like they're all free to play, and obviously it's exactly the same thing. You play it, you unlock your heroes or your, whatever you want to call them, operators, specialists, and that's how you advance with the game. But you have to spend money if you want to get like anything other than the bare minimum. Yeah. And you just think like, what the hell? And it's got way worse like as we've got older, and actually a lot of the things that were in those kind of games are now in like games that you have to pay for now as well, like Call of Duty, Battlefield. Like it's like seeped into like actual games that you have to pay for now.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the, like, in my opinion, like, I mean, I'm down for someone being able to play something for free, but all the add-ons and things you need now is like one of the worst things about modern gaming. Like, it used to be that you bought the game, you got absolutely everything, bar maybe a couple of expansion packs that were coming out in the later year, you know. But now, like, you're spending 70 quid for the bare minimum, and then if you, like you say, if you want the good shit, like, even if it's just like cosmetic stuff, but sometimes the cosmetic stuff like looks really cool, and it's like, well, why can't I have, like, a flaming skull head or something like in the game? Why do I have to pay $14.99 for that? It's crap.
Yeah, it was like a few games. Like I remember when Fortnite came out, and I think like a lot of people, I was like, oh fuck, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go, And it's just.
Have you ever played Fortnite?
Yeah, I've played Fortnite. Not a lot.
Oh, okay.
Not a lot. I think I played it like.
Well, I know that I've never. I'm a bit of a hypocrite about Fortnite because I've never ever played it. It doesn't interest me. The fact that they've got all these cool characters and things does interest me. That, like, this week John Wick is in Fortnite, or like next week we've got so and so. That's kind of cool, but just the gameplay and everything doesn't interest me. I know that our good friend Robbo loves it.
Yeah, I think if you like, I mean, we can't be hypocritical about this because we play a lot of Warzone. Warzone is free to play, and it's got a lot of similarities to games like Fortnite and PUBG. But yeah, Fortnite, I wasn't a fan of the gameplay and stuff, and I'm just too old for it. Like, that's an honest answer. Like, at least it's
definitely aimed towards younger players.
Yeah, at least with Warzone, like, we grew up with Call of Duty, so it's like, oh, okay, it's like it kind of makes sense that somebody our age would play it. But yeah, with Fortnite, it's like, I don't know. But these free to play games, I don't know. Like, I just think they're just such money traps. They're and fair enough. Like, I'm an adult. I've got my own job. If I want to do, like, me and you play a lot of Call of Duty and stuff, and like, if I want to, I mean, I've never actually bought the battle pass with real money, but it's like if I want to buy the battle pass, like, I can because I've got a job and I can budget. But if you're like 12 years old, like. It's like, it's just money.
You always hear stories of like kids getting into trouble because they're just tapping buy on things and maxing out the parents' cards and things like this because buying all these cosmetic shit for Fortnite. Definitely is sort of, in my opinion, like ruining the games industry a bit. And all these, like we said in the last game, and we've said for the last few weeks, operators. I don't want a character. Just let me play as a generic soldier or something.
Honestly, like, I don't think it's going to change. I think that's
it's only going to get worse.
It's just the way it is now, and like I think the next the next Call of Duty, the next Battlefield, the next whatever game you want to play. Like, they're all going to have this stuff because that's what
and
makes
it's like
money.
it's becoming so safe. Like, everything has to be safe. We said this about Call of Duty Vanguard. Why can't I play as someone from the Axis? Why can't I play as a Japanese soldier, for example, or a German soldier? Why have they got to be like, oh, it's a Japanese soldier who like defected and now he's a good guy?
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
Yeah, it's exactly the same with all these games, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how much of it is that they don't want to. I get it that they didn't want somebody with Call of Duty Vanguard. I get it they didn't want somebody buying a skin for like, like a super like an SS, an SS soldier with a swastika.
Yeah,
I get that, but you could do it a bit better than that. For starters, if they were worried about that, and I think they have done this anyway in multiplayer, is they've just scrubbed the entire multiplayer of like swastikas. So
they've replaced it all with iron crosses.
And I get that because it's an illegal symbol in a lot of countries, like Germany, for instance. It's illegal, so I get that. But you could still have a German soldier who isn't plastered in swastikas. Exactly. And you can do it in a tasteful way. Same thing. Same way as you could do like a Japanese soldier, and not have, not have them being a complete stereotype of a World War II Japanese soldier.
I think that's the problem. I think it's a little bit like almost disrespectful to like forget.
Yeah, of course it is.
The soldiers were there, and
of course it is.
I don't know. It's a much bigger debate, that is. But yeah, let me play as a nameless Japanese soldier. Like, it's fine. I'm fine without having a backstory and a favorite weapon and shit like that. Anyway, I wrote down. I've sort of been a bit more streamlined in my answer here. I wrote down Souls-like games because I get that a lot of people like a challenge while playing a video game. I completely understand that. Racing games, things like that are challenging. I'm talking about Souls-like games. So that is anything that's by From Software, the company that make Dark Souls. There's that new Elden Ring thing coming out. Dark Souls. What's the one where it's like Victorian London Dark Souls?
Is it Bloodborne?
Yes, that's it. Yeah. Bloodborne. Anything where it's like they are really challenging the players, anything like that, and I'm just sort of out. Like, I don't play games to be like, made to genuinely like sweat and try. I mean, I know there's immense satisfaction to completing levels and taking down bosses and things and finishing the game, but for me, it's too much. I just want to have some fun. I want to have enjoyment and I want a good story. Not saying that these games aren't all anything like that, because I think I'm probably in the minority saying I don't really like.
They're really crazy popular. Like, they've got like anybody who's got a PlayStation, I think, plays like Bloodborne and stuff at some point.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think the one thing that I've noticed is that anybody who plays these games will gatekeep the hell out of playing these games. As in, they'll be like, "Oh, you're not a proper you're not a proper gamer unless you've played like Dark Souls or something like that." It's like,
walking around with like the Dark Souls t-shirts.
It's that stereotype, isn't it? Of that's the kind of person that play. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure they are good games.
Loads
popular.
of I listen to a lot of gaming podcasts, and I don't think I've heard a single gaming podcasters say that they dislike these games. They're all like, love it, love the challenge, love the, like Sekiro is another one. To me, it just looks too grindy. And what I hate is when other companies like Ubisoft will say, hey, that game's doing so well. How about we completely change one of our biggest IPs, Assassin's Creed, which is a stealth-based game, and let's turn it into like a parrying, dodge, Souls-like game. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think.
And granted, you can turn the difficulty down, but then that makes you feel like a loser turning the difficulty down. Yeah, but it's I'm not saying that it's too hard, but like it's asking too much of me. Like, I just want to sit back and play a game for an hour or something, you know. I don't have all night to defeat this boss, like, you know.
Fucking casual, bro. You're casual. No, I the thing that I think I probably gave Dark Souls a go.
Yeah, I've tried one of them. I can't remember which one it was.
I think one of them was on. Do you remember on 360 where we had like games with gold?
Yes, yeah, it was still a thing.
Yeah, fair enough. So, but I remember, I think one of the Dark Souls games was on Games with Gold.
Yeah, I think that's how I got it.
And I think I played it, and I think I literally played it for like half an hour or something. I was like, fuck this! Like this is like, how the hell is this fun? You know. So I probably didn't really give it a proper chance. But I made
my character, and then I died, and then my character came back as a zombie, and I googled it. And they were like, "Oh yeah, you know, once you die once, your character is a zombie for the rest of the game or something." And I was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
so like the thing that I do quite like at it, just from looking at it from a distance, is all these kind of games. Like they're all stylistically really quite cool. Like, you know, they're quite like, you know, like they're really. The art style of them, you know, when you see that, I watched the reviews of a few of them and just like screenshots. And
like Sekiro and stuff. Yeah, looks very cool.
And Bloodborne, you know, like, they all look like really, really cool, arty games. But I same as you. I kind of just can't be arsed with it anymore. Like I don't game that much. You know, I have a full-time job. I sometimes go on for like an hour or two before I go to bed, so I can't be asked to like break my controller every evening.
Yeah. So another one I wrote down is anything that is turn-based.
Oh.
So I'm by that I'm talking like your Final Fantasies and things like that. It's weird, right? Because we spoke about gaming on phones. I said I don't really game on phones. I don't really. If I do have a game on a phone, I prefer it to be something turn-based, so I don't have to, you know. So I'm not like, I can just tap on that rather than like have both thumbs on the screen and be running around the whole time and stuff. But in a video game, who the fuck wants to play turn-based combat and shit? So I don't have time for that.
So just so we're on the same page, would you include like real-time strategy games in this?
No, I would put real-time strategy in their own.
Because okay, that's good. Because I was about to like
because I know you used to like the Code Red games.
I'm a big. I love all the Total War games. I love all the Age of Empires games.
Yeah, see, I don't, right, but I love Age of Mythology. That was my jam.
Yeah, good game. Yeah, I played that. So no, I thought, because I was about to like pounce on you, because I was like,
no, I like that. I like that sort of thing. I mean, granted, I don't. It's not my sort of game. Like, I don't play those games, but I do quite like that. You know, building your army and sending them all over there and stuff. Yeah. Like, that's cool. I'm saying, you know, you're on a screen. You've got like 6 fighters on the screen. And all of them are just standing there waiting for one guy to go up, attack, and then jump back, and it says like "missed" on the screen or something.
I get what you mean.
And it's like, what the hell? Just let me like.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I never really got into Final Fantasy games that much.
I definitely did not. Yeah.
I think that might be linked to the anime thing. I think. It's just I'm not that into anime.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's
what they call like JRPGs.
Yeah. Just what obviously Final Fantasy is like one of the most popular franchises like ever, you know, in gaming. But yeah, it just never really. I think maybe we might be a little bit too young for it. I think people a little bit older than us played it on like PS1, PS2, and that was when it was like at its peak in popularity, you know.
Yeah, and now those people are buying all the remastered ones and things.
Exactly.
But not my jam.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm not a fan of those kind of real-time strategy, like, sorry, real-time. I mean, like, turn-based, like combat kind of games. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I did play a few. I can't remember what they were called.
I played a couple back in the day. I had a couple on PS1. I had I had a couple on 360 and, you know, on the Games with Gold thing. But I think if I've got a controller in my hand, I just want to go.
Yeah.
But like I said, if I'm on my phone, I don't want to be having too much going on. I want to just tap and like look away or something.
Yeah.
But no, I think there was a Lord of the Rings one. It was like Lord of the Rings, the Second Age or the Third Age or something like that, and that was a turn-based, like JRPG style Lord of the Rings game. And I remember buying that and just being so disappointed when I got home and booted it up, because like I had to stand there and like a level 1 orc or something was just kicking my ass, and I was like, I got 4 guys here that could easily like completely annihilate this guy, but I can't.
Yeah, there was like there was a couple of games on PC that are like that, but they're hugely popular. There's all the Baldur's Gate games, and then also more recently they're called Pillars of Eternity, and like they're those kind of games. They're like dungeon crawling, turn-based like combat kind of games. And I gave Pillar of Eternity a go, and that was quite cool actually. Like it looks a bit shit if you're used to like playing 3D games. Yeah. But actually, like you sort of develop the characters and things, and it's cool. It's cool in a way. But a lot of old PC games are like that. They have like the like the sort of old like RPG kind of games. Yeah. Yeah,
man. Well, I think we've pretty much come to the end of all of our topics, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure those were the same 5 categories that we did in the last episode, in the favourites episode.
I think so, yeah.
This has been a pretty successful one, man. We're at like an hour and 20. So we did just ramble on about shit that we hate, and it was fairly easy.
Just shooting the shit.
Yeah, man. Well, I think if we've got any listeners left, they're probably getting maybe a bit fatigued by it at this point, so we should probably wrap it up there, I think, mate. What would be really cool is if anyone listening to this, send us an email. Let me know what it is that you hate, be that TV, TV shows, movies, music, books, games, or just anything you hate at all. Just, it'd be interesting to hear it. Send me an email. dudewhatpodcast@gmail.com, Instagram @dudewhatpodcast, or get on the SpeakPipe, speakpipe.com/dudewhatpodcast. Hammers, it's been great to have you on, dude. Thanks again for filling in for the big bad T lad. I'm sure. Well, I mean, we're going to have him back next week, but yeah, it's been great that you could fill in for him.
Any time. Yeah. Hopefully see Tomo back next week.
Yeah, definitely. I think that is it. I did have something I was going to say, but I've 100% forgotten what it is now. So if I remember, I'll like add it in or something, but I probably won't.
Yeah.
So just make sure that y'all stay safe in this sort of Storm Arwen thing that we've got going on at the minute. Yeah, like genuinely don't slip over, like, because there is ice and stuff everywhere. Everybody, thanks so much for listening. I've been Harry Dowling, and I've been joined with the one and only Mr. Callum Hamby.
Peace out, everyone.
Yeah, take it easy, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.
See you later.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. You can visit our Instagram account at Dude What Podcast. That's DUDEWUT Podcast. And you can also email us at dudewhatpodcast@gmail.com. That's DUDEWUT Podcast@gmail.com. See you next time. Dude, what?